I'm
Remember
good.
what I'm supposed to do. You good?
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
You been pretty solid on
I
your.
have. It's just been because it's October and that's just a really busy cancer awareness. Like everybody barfs pink everywhere. So I have been in the community working remote and doing health fairs and events, and it's just absolutely crazy nuts. It's 12-hour days and it lasts like all month long. So I've been super busy doing that, but I'm keeping my nutrition spot on and my workouts are 4 to 5 days a week. So I'm really happy with that. So
Wow.
we're doing it.
Wow, you can't ask for better than that, especially
Nope.
when you're that busy. That's
Yep.
huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited for you. Good job.
Yep.
When does it slow down? Does it slow down at the end of October or does it go all the way through the end of the year?
Nope. Right at the end of October, it just like it's like a cutoff. And then
Okay.
there'll be like no very few people in my classes. It'll be everyone's ready for the holidays and it just kind of comes to a halt and then it picks back up again in January.
Oh, good. Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. You'll have a little bit of a break and then you know what to expect. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice job. Check in. What you doing? You have to unmute.
That was me. I kind of blurped on myself here.
Oh,
Um,
Jackie, sure.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
Actually,
no, go for it.
sure how long I can be. I still got to get where I'm going yet too. So,
Oh,
um,
okay. Be really careful driving. If you're driving, be very
no,
careful.
I'm not. I'm sitting right now. I'm having a bite to
Okay.
eat. So, no, it's been okay. I didn't do a lot of exercising before I left for Georgia because everyone around me was sick, and I'm still getting used to the exercising. And I was very tired as it was, just with everything going on. So I did a little bit, and my eating was off and on. But now I'm getting back on track, and the retreat was amazing.
Good.
And if anybody could ever see Liz Gilbert speak, go.
Yeah, she's I've never heard her speak in person, but she's quite good.
Oh, yeah, I learned, and I'm the type that learns from little nuggets of wisdom here and there or stories. That's exactly what I love to learn by. And she is as down to earth as she seemed. She's really
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just starting to get back in at things, and we got hockey started this week, so that's why I'm eating in Winnipeg. I didn't have the time to come in and relax like I often do, but I had to drop my granddaughter off. So, but yeah, no, my holiday season. I know we were talking about holiday season. Mine's not bad because I purposely don't do a ton. We only have one side of the family because he's got half brother, half two half sisters. His half brother passed, but we just have never. They're so far apart in age. They're not super close. So yeah, we just hang out with my family, and it's usually a pretty easy going time for me, thankfully.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
our Thanksgiving was last weekend, so we don't have that at the end of November. So that really helps. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. No, it's true. It's true. It kind of gives you a little bit of a spread.
yeah.
Well, good. Good. And I saw you walk 3 miles. Congratulations.
I did. I met my friend at, well, it was at the gym, but it's at the hockey rink where the walking track is up around the rink. It's a bigger rink, both 3,000 seat rink. So they have a huge wide, like it's like 8 laps is a mile. So yeah, we chatted. We haven't seen each other much in the last 6 months, so it was kind of nice. So we kind of got caught up, and yeah, before we knew it, we walked 3 miles.
Good job. Yeah. There's something magical about walking with other people if you want to like get in some distance because all of a sudden you don't notice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
good deal.
so if I sign off, I'll talk to you next time we're on the thing, and have a great time in North Carolina. So
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yes.
wasn't
Definitely.
very far from where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
Say
south
that
into the
again.
Georgia. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
south
No,
into
Georgia's not
Georgia.
far.
So
I go through Georgia on my way there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's if you know where Helen is, I was about at Cleveland, about 10 miles south,
Yep.
and stayed at a summer camp. I never got to go to camp as a kid, but I did as an adult. So
Nice.
yeah, no, and it was very hilly, like it is there. So I got lots of exercise in over those couple days because I was probably at least an eighth of a mile, maybe a quarter of a mile from where I slept to where the dining hall was. And we did some art or creative things, and I had to go back and forth a couple of times. And so I got lots of walking in on hills. So
Good job.
anyway,
Well, good. Congratulations. So I'm gonna hop over to Patty real quick. Check in, Patty, you gotta unmute. There you are. Whoops, you're still under,
There we go. Okay, now
There
I
you
got it. For some
Yeah.
reason, it's showing up differently. So anyway, hi everybody.
Hey.
Well, let's see. I just got back from, let's see, it was Sunday night from being away for about a week or so. He had a driving trip with my dad, and we went for a family reunion down south. It was very nice. And you would think I would have gotten more work exercise since I certainly had time, but it was like I didn't. I don't know. But I didn't. You know, I did
Well,
it once or twice. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, I guess it's better than nothing.
But when you came back, you got right back to it, right?
Yes, I did. Well, yeah. We ended up, much to my chagrin, if I'm going to be honest, but it all worked out. Driving straight through on Sunday, and so we got home late Sunday night. So Monday, I was pretty, I'd say, useless. And yesterday I got a little bit in, and today like I posted, I did do pretty good today. I'm feeling really pretty good too. So what I found helped is last night I actually sat down and I just wrote out all my plans for today. I'm gonna do this. They say, with this whole thing with manifesting and all that stuff. I was like, okay, they say write it out as if you're doing it or you did it. So that's how I did. I just kept writing out, like, I'm doing this, doing whatever my whole day. And then when I got up, I said, well, no, you kind of wrote it. Maybe you should do it. And I did it. So
Congratulations. Yeah.
so it feels good.
On Monday night's call, basically what we talked about was just all we're doing is tricking our brain.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out how to hack your brain so that you can do the things that you have planned, and your brain's like, oh, but maybe not. So yeah. Congratulations.
So yeah, I said, well, if you could do it in your mind, you can do it for real.
Yeah.
But it did it and done, and it feels good to have it done. Yeah. So, and for my holidays, it's like, as far as I know, unless things have changed this year, my cousin has a Thanksgiving, and so it's just the one day, and I'll splurge, but that's just the one day. For Christmas, well, okay, we'll have to see what happens with that. So
well, I mean, and we'll talk about that because there's always ways of dealing with it. And it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing either.
Right.
Yeah. So okay, well, good for you. Well, let me grab Sia real quick since she's here, and then we'll just dive in. Sia, there you go, you're unmuted even.
Hi everyone. It's been a while. So as you know, we talked about the nitros. So I'm starting it. So I'm at one today, and I think it's really cool to do during meetings. So I've been in out there during meetings. Gives me a little bit more energy after sitting in long meetings and kind of like having a brain freeze and like be nice to do a nitro right now. So I've been doing it there. I've been doing a meeting. And we talked about me just getting back into Pilates. So I did have a class on Sunday, and then I have another one, kind of an intro again on Thursday, or beginner, just a
Nice.
beginner class
Good.
on Thursday. So that's kind of what I'm starting off slow again. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like you said, I can do the 4 minutes nitro. It takes more than 4 minutes for me, of course, but it really helps me to kind of, did it get dark in here? Oh, sorry. But it kind of helps me.
You got really dark in there.
Because my computer screen went out from work.
That's okay. We see your pretty smile.
Sorry, I'll turn the light off. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on with me. Nothing major. No vacations coming up soon, but otherwise, so I'm trying to just kind of gradually get back into everything, and so on and so forth.
Well, good. So So for everybody else, like Sia has a tendency to start really big. Like,
Yeah.
you know, go big or just go home, right? And so she's done an amazing job this last year, like of all the things. And now she's at this point where it's time to kind of dial things in. So she decided this time she's going to start a little bit slower. And so she's jumped into the Nitros group and starting with that. And then Pilates, because that, like, every time we talk, that's her favorite thing.
It
Like
is.
every
it is.
time. And I'm like, so just do the thing, right? Just do it.
Right.
That's your favorite thing. Do it. So, so yeah, good for you. Yeah, because I think by the time she had finished, or we had finished putting together like a little plan for her 3 months ago, she had something going every day, and some days she had 2 or 3 things going. So,
Yeah. So had to dial it back a little bit because then it's like, okay, then I can't do anything now. It's too much. So yeah, I think to start, like I said, kind of start off a little bit slower again, kind of ramp back up and kind of get everything in good moderation so that I can handle everything and not have too much going on all at the time. So
good for you. Good deal. Well,
I'm
thanks.
trying to
Thanks
light on
for
somewhere.
letting us know, because I really appreciate that. So I will say, I think that right now, Sia, maybe Jackie are the only one. Patty, are you in the Nitros group? You're in the Nitros group. So Jenny, so you know this. And Angelia, so you know this. While Jenny was out doing weddings and being super busy, we decided to start an experiment with doing Nitros. And the Nitros, this is like a real experiment. It's not like, you know, I love calling everything experiments and we're going to see how it works. We're actually tracking to see if we can change our heart rate numbers and viability by doing Nitros. So some people are doing them once a day, some people are doing them twice a day, some people are doing them 3 times a day.
Are you talking about your resting heart rate?
Basically, just to give you a really quick one on this one. Nitros are supposed to increase the nitric oxide in your bloodstream, which is supposed to give you more vascular flexibility. Okay. So
Okay.
they've always said that they increase or they lower blood pressure. So what started this was the fact that despite the fact, like literally last night, I looked at my numbers, I had a resting heart rate of 46, excuse me, and an HRV of 147. So like really stinking good numbers. But my ring continues to insist that my heart is at the same, I'm in very good shape. I'm equal for my age. In theory, I would think that my heart should be better than my age if I'm in, you know, great shape, peak, as they call it. So that's what got this started. So now we're seeing if doing the Nitros will actually start. It's a whole lot easier to track if you're using a tracker. Okay, something that tracks your heart, like your heart age, like the ring does, so that we can see if we can bring the age down by increasing Nitros. So that's the experiment.
Right. I gotcha.
It's going to be ongoing because obviously it's not something that's going to happen in a month. It's probably
Is everybody using the same tracking device? Like everyone
No,
has
we
an
aren't.
Aura or everyone has a Pulsar? No.
See, that makes it completely unrealistic because I've got probably five rings in there, and I've probably got 5 Fitbits in there, and you know, a couple of Garmin's and a couple of this, but it's a test, right? So yeah, so obviously everyone and anyone can be in this, but just wanted to bring Jenny up to speed because Jenny has something, for those of you who don't know this, she has something she does every year called hang on, let me get it right, Jenny. It's New October, and every day she does something new. So I tell you, she's, like I said to Sia the other day, Jenny's a little scary, but she's amazing. So tell us about it just a little bit.
Made me much scarier because this guy's a lot of work, but he's a lot of fun.
Oh, he's so cute.
I folded him in September. He was not an all new October, but he was a September. So he's made October that much more interesting.
I bet he has. I bet he has. So yeah. Yeah. Share with us your 3 favorite things that you've done in your all new October.
Oh, dance with my son at his wedding on Saturday. That was completely brilliant. So I would just say the whole wedding weekend, like rehearsal dinner, wedding, the whole thing, that was super fun. To be honest, I'd have to go back and look at the list of things to do because they go by so fast, I forget them, and I have to go back and look at pictures.
That's okay.
It's hard. Yeah, I will say it was very hard to top the wedding weekend. So Thursday was his birthday. So we got to go, he got married in Austin. So we went out on a boat and he and his fiance wake surfed and we had dinner on the water. And then Friday was, all sorts of wedding stuff and the rehearsal dinner, and Saturday was the wedding. And I just feel like I'm not sure I could top that period like any October. It was pretty magic. So it was fun to it was just fun to go through the whole process. So I'm still kind of riding that high. I've got some fun things coming up on Rice campus. I've always wanted to go to like a Shepherd School of Music performance. They've got these amazing.
Oh, I've been doing those. I've been doing those the last few weeks since Phil's been gone.
Okay. Well, yeah. We're going to go on Thursday. What's today? Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to go on Thursday night. And then there's also, it's not till November, but there's a performance. I wanted to go to Brockman Opera Hall. The pictures of these performance halls look incredible. So, and it's just walking distance for me. I mean, Rice University is just a block that way. So, anyway, those will be really fun. I'm going to a few different light show kind of things, which will be neat. A play that I've never seen. I was going to take off and do some things in kind of the Burnett area and Marble Falls, but I just don't think I can pull it off. I think I'm going to have to stay local. And I also, if you guys don't know, for those of you in Houston, the longest car wash in the world is in Katy, Texas. And so on my way to my son's wedding, I did stop at the world's longest car wash. So 255 feet. So I got my car really clean. But there's lots of great stuff out there. You just got to look for it. There's no lack of things to do.
Isn't that the truth? Oh, that's funny.
I'm not totally unrelated to October, but kind of symptomatic of being really busy, which I think everybody in this group tends to get busy because we all do a lot of stuff, including work. What I have found, and it's interesting, we're talking about heart rate, I have found that my, what is it called? Your HRV, is that what it is? My value, I think when it goes up, it's bad, or when it goes down, it's bad.
Go up is good, down is not so good.
Okay. So mine my watch popped up and told me, hey, over the last 11 or 12 weeks, your level has gone way down. Your recovery level has gone way down. And I was like, and it really made me think about it because I've been really extra tired over the last, something is nibbling at me, over the last last few months. And I think because I'm tired, I'm doing things in a more rote fashion. So I belong to 3 gyms, but I go to the rowing gym twice a week and I do Pilates twice a week, but I'm skipping most other stuff. And so weekends come along and I don't have a scheduled class. I'm not really doing things on weekends because I'm busy doing other stuff. And I think that when we get busy, we're like, okay, these are the have to do's. And my have to do's are a few workouts a week that I pay for. For some reason, it's important to me when I pay for a workout. Well, you better go do that. No excuses for that. But I'm not very good right now at filling in, like Patty, you were talking about. I wonder why I didn't work out. I'm not good at saying, I've got time. Why don't I just switch gears and stop being busy for a minute and go do something? And I think part of that, maybe not moving quite as much, is making me tired. I think really not enough sleep is making me tired. But there was really a marked difference. And I wouldn't have ever thought, oh, my HRV is dropping until my watch said it. Yeah, you're not doing as well as you used to be doing. And then I tried to dissect it. But I think that getting creative with your workouts and doing different things and trying to fit things in when you can, like you guys are doing nitros, is really awesome. And I need to I need to do more things like that, just to kind of shake up the system, because it's easy when you're busy to just fit in the have to do's, because the want to do's always have to take the back seat.
It's true. It's true. And I will say with HRV, like one of the things that actually increases it is not necessarily movement, but downtime. So like when you have time, like when you've got that space in between, actually, this is a pretty good thing to do, really, is to maybe you want to throw in a nitro because you've said you're going to do the nitros, and then stop and do 3 minutes of breath work. Right? It's just that it's that getting centered. And actually I like meditation is one of the things that actually really increases your HRV. But being present really is what you're saying. Like coming back and being present will help it. It will help it, because when we're not present, you know, we're just kind of like moving and doing and not like coming back to the now. I wish I had my watch to show you guys this. A friend of mine sent me this watch. It's beautiful. And where the time is, the time dial has been removed and it just says now. So it's just a watch to remind me to be in the present. But it's right, it's like that is one of those things that actually helps HRV.
So because I really am just learning about HRV over the last couple months, in quick and easy terms, is it basically how long it takes your heart rate to get from where it is when you're working out to just drop back down to normal?
No, it's the movement. Now, I'm going to say this and it's not going to be exactly right, but basically it's the movement between beats. So, so if you were to, I would have to look it up, because I honestly, Jenny, I probably looked up the definition 28 times and it just kind of like goes out the ears. Angelia, if you've got it in your head right now, spout it off, because you look like you do.
I've got a couple things. What definition are you looking for?
HRV.
Okay.
HRV,
Google
yeah,
it.
heart rate variability. Yeah. But basically what it is, it's that space between.
Oh, yeah. The slight variation in time between heartbeats.
Yeah. And when you, it's so to answer your question, Jenny,
Ah, okay.
really, I'm not learned enough to tell you exactly how it works. I just know that what you want is you want a higher HRV. And one of the ways, I mean, I've seen people try and get there again and again and again by exercising, but the easiest way to get there is by sitting on your butt and doing a little meditating or doing a little deep breathing or something like that. You'll notice it changes it will change. In fact, it would be cool for you to do to do a test. Just, you know, do a test for it. Usually it takes about probably 2 weeks to 3 weeks to settle it down and start getting a real reading. Like, I know that when I'm under stress, mine goes in the tank, literally tanked. Like, it's just the opposite. I'll get a resting heart rate of maybe 75, which is crazy pants for me because I'm almost lizard-like, and I'll get an HRV of 20. And that's when I'm highly stressed and oftentimes not sleeping well. So bringing back the sleep, bringing back the relaxation, those two things. Not eating late is another thing that will eating late will raise your heart rate, lower your HRV. But yeah, it's just like, it's really simple in a way. So I mean, it's worth trying to see if you can change it, because I swear to you, like, I can't tell you how many people I've worked with who are like, I'm just going to do more cardio. It'll get me there. And finally, I'm like, just meditate for 15 minutes and just try it. So it's interesting.
I guess part of the reason I wonder is when I look at my watch when I'm like at the height of my workout, and I would assume my heart is, bum 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 bum. So there's really very little time between beats. And then as I come all the way down, when I stop or when I'm rowing much more slowly, and then I look at my heart rate, it's not the difference in how long, it's just what the space is in between the time. But I guess the space between the beats is growing longer, the less hard my heart is working. Does that make sense? Like there's no time between beats, it seems like, when I'm
Right.
at maximum.
Well, yeah, when you're maxing out.
Yeah, when I come way down, that's when my number should be growing.
Yes, and it is not so we're used to heart rate, like we're taking our heart rate when we're working out, right? Because we want to see if it's going to come back down, and we want to see all those things. HRV is different. It's a long game. Think of it as a long game, right? It's not what's happening when you're working out. It's happening when you're living life.
Okay.
And yeah, that's really the difference is that it's just like, it's the whole thing, and your heart rate, like, of course, someone on here remind me what it's called, when the difference between when you're going really hard and then how fast you drop. There's a name for that. Patty, you probably know it. And whatever that name for it is, that's different, but that's important, right? Because when you get really high, let's say you're at 140, and then within, let me make something up, 30 seconds, you're back down to 60, then, you've got that's a healthy heart, versus when somebody gets really high, or they can't get high, like, they just kind of get to that point where they're going to pass out because they're at 120 and that's just all they can do. That's different. But I typically see this crowd as being people that have, the kind of hearts that are strong. They can go up and then they can just come right back down. Yeah. And it's worth, I'm not a huge tracker when it comes to like things like that, but I do pay attention to it. I don't live by it. But if I was doing triathlons right now, I'd be living by it. I'd be paying attention and seeing if it really matters. As it is, I'm just kind of like trotting through life doing my stuff. So it's different. I'm not training hard. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So real quick, we were just going to talk about nutrition. And the reason I thought of this is that I was having a call, I guess it was Monday's call, and somebody on there was on a diet, limited calories, which is like the worst words in the world to me, but limited calories. So she's on a limited calorie diet. She's tired. She's like tired. I'm like, well, of course you're tired. You don't have any food in you. And so what I had suggested to her was that because she was craving sugar. And I said, just do the protein shake as a treat. Right? It's the easiest hit that you can get. And you get, for her, I suggested put some berries and some water and some ice and some protein powder in a shake it all up and, make it into a smoothie. And she hadn't thought about doing that before. And it's one of those things that most everybody in here has done sugar freedom. And so, it's that thing where when you have those cravings that hit, that you have to deal with them. That's what happens, I think, the most during the holidays, is that we just get presented with things that we don't normally get presented with. I was at someone's house on Monday. I was helping them I was consulting with them on Monday at their house. And they had this big old bowl of Halloween candy sitting there in the middle of the table. I don't want to eat chocolate. I can't eat chocolate. I get migraines. What do you think? All I could think about was, wow, look at all that chocolate. That looks really good, right? It's having something right there in our face. And that happens a lot during the holidays, is that it's just the access to stuff becomes so normal, right? Like this person whose house I was at would normally, I mean, she doesn't eat candy. It would normally not be something she would have sitting around, but because Halloween was coming up, is the access to candy, and it was the whole holiday thing. So it just made me realize that what happens so much is that everything is just there in front of us, laid out for people who go to offices. Sia, and Julia, you do too, right? Both of you guys go to offices, and I'm gonna bet the treats are laid out, and
It's
easy to get.
horrible.
Yeah,
It's like it from the time, probably a week before Halloween, about now, the patients will start bringing in little goodies, and they're, bless their little hearts, they're just very thankful that we treated them, we saved their lives, they move on. But then they come back every year and they bring stuff, and then the current patients, so literally we have like a 8-foot table in our break room, is a big huge table, and it's full for the month of November and December. It's packed full with treats. We have to throw stuff away that doesn't get eaten because there's just so much. And it's not like yucky treats. It's homemade cinnamon rolls and pecan pies and cakes, and they're just very thankful. Yeah, I just don't even go in the break room. You just can't, because you'll nibble.
yeah, yeah.
horrible.
No, I hear you. I mean,
Yep.
just like I said, like I don't eat that, and I wanted it, man. Like I wanted it. I'm like,
Mhm.
Kelly, that's so weird. But it's just, it is in our heads. And I don't know, I don't remember who it was I was talking to recently, but somebody I was talking to, I said, I had this craving for chocolate the other night. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what chocolate? And I realized later it had to have been on the TV. Like you see it on the TV and then it triggers you. You see it in the break room, whether it's, the delicious treats or whatever, and it's triggered. And this is the time of year when it becomes epidemic.
Well, there's
Yeah.
also the psychological factor. It's that fear of missing out, because it's only around this time of year, and you might as well just eat it while it's here, and it's just for this few months. And yeah, it's just 10 pounds by January. So just forget it.
It's just 10 pounds. Okay. It's true though. It's
No,
true.
it's true.
I mean, it is not unusual for people to gain somewhere around 9 pounds over the holidays. And so it's awareness, really, y'all. Like it's awareness, and then maybe it's a little bit of what Ginny was talking about. Like, when you're doing things by rote, then it's so easy that when you're busy to not be aware of the fact that you're reaching for something, to not be aware that, oh, I want that. And it's just coming back to everything we all know. Like, we're all smart women and we know it. And we just have to be aware of it. So making sure that we keep that awareness. I mean, Sia, does that happen to you too at the office? Is it a free for all for treats, or?
It is, but not that bad. I mean, people bring in candy and they have it on their desks and things like that. And then we have, gatherings, every couple of weeks, I would say, probably. We can bring like food in or things like that. But yeah, it's definitely around. It's definitely, everyone's always offering you, candy and things like that. But yeah, it's very tempting, I would say, during this time
Yeah,
of the year. Yeah.
that's why they're called temptations, right? I mean, and it's a loving gesture.
It
That's
is.
the thing, is that for everybody, it is a loving gesture. Can I give you something? And
Yeah.
so it's a hard one. You can okay. Okay. This is kind of like, true confessions. I don't think chocolate really gives me a headache. really. Now, if I'm in a series where I can get migraines, like in my time when I could get migraines, definitely it does. But in general, like I can eat a piece of chocolate and it won't give me a headache. But my standard answer whenever anybody hands me a piece of chocolate, I'm sorry, gives me a headache, right? Maybe it only gives me a headache when I've got migraines. But I mean, those are the first words out of my mouth. My family was in, they've lived in Europe forever. We want to bring you chocolate, Aunt Kelly. I'm like, can't, honey. It gives me a headache. Wow, what do you want? Mustard. Bring me mustard. They're like, that's weird. I'm like, I can deal with mustard, right? So having those standard answers, when I became a vegetarian, it was the same thing. Like people would say, oh, well, how about shrimp? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm allergic. That's why you say, I'm allergic. Because it was 45 years ago, it was weird to be a vegetarian. So I would just say, I'm allergic. Didn't matter what, eggs, allergic. And in a way I was, because I didn't want to eat it. So in a way I was allergic to it. But sometimes when you can teach yourself to just have that auto response, like it is such a knee jerk in me now. Like, if I eat a dessert, people around me are just like, you gonna be okay? I'm like, probably. I'll probably feel bad tomorrow, but but it's that thing. Sometimes you just have to have just a throwdown. Yeah. I mean, and if you tell somebody, like if I tell somebody it gives me a headache, then they're not going to give it to me, or they're going to offer it again. And it's not, to me, it is not, it's not lying, because really, if I have chocolate when I have a migraine, I'm in dire straits at that point. So sometimes it has to be like some sort of thing that's going to save you. Because if you say, well, I'm just not eating any sugar, then it's like, oh, holier than thou, right? And so coming up with like that. Another thing is coming up with a decision point. And I don't remember who just said it a minute ago, but basically that decision point is, I think it was Ginny, was that like, if you're going to go do something, who was it? Maybe sorry guys, I've been talking to so many people today. My brain is, and this is not my brain on chocolate. Can you imagine? I'd be batshit. But like when you have a decision point, and that decision point is, okay, I'm going to be doing XYZ for the next 5 days or next 3 days or whatever it is. I have two things I can do. I can either say, I'm going to, stick to everything I say I'm going to do. I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm going to do all the things that I need because this is my decision, line in the sand. Or you can say, okay, you know what? I can do anything I want for the next 5 days or whatever it is. And then when I'm back on track with Patty, because we had this conversation last week, because she was going to Louisiana and all the things were going on in Louisiana, right? So I just said, give yourself grace. Do whatever you want to do. And then as soon as you get back, you're back on track, which is exactly what she did, right? So those are like a couple of ways, and it really does depend on what works for you. It depends on if it's easy for you to fall back into the trap of, usually it's the eating of things. But it's that thing of going, okay, what's going to work for me? Sometimes just beating ourselves up and isn't it. Like if I go see my sister for the weekend, I'm like, whatever, we're going to drink champagne in the afternoon. We're going to eat all the stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not going to say to my sister, nope, sorry, sis, I'm not playing with you right now. But I know that as soon as I get back, I just go back to what I normally do. So it's finding that space that works for you. And it is different for everybody. Finding just being willing. And then also, like, other than awareness and knowing your triggers, one of the other things that can really help when you're deciding that you don't want to have something is the why, right? Like normally, not always, but normally for people, if you have sugar in the evening or a lot of sugar, it disturbs your sleep. Like that's one thing it does. It saps your energy. Like it will give you lots of energy for a moment and then it just zaps it. and it can be hard on your skin. It can give you, it can stress, it can trigger stress. Like there's a lot of things. And so when you just know that why, for why you're saying, I'd rather not do this, it always makes it easier to me. It comes back to the whole idea of, training your brain, tricking your brain, whatever you want to call it. But when you have a solid why you don't want to do something, then I mean, I can give you an example for myself. Like, I don't eat fried food normally. I enjoy French fries. I read, and then not only did I read it, I actually went and looked it up to see if this was true. It was basically, if you eat a serving of fries, your inflammation is high for about 24 hours. And I went, whoa, that's interesting. Like that's something. So so my why became, when I turned down the fries and I'd really like to eat them, it's just like, you know what? I don't want that spike in inflammation for a 24-hour period. It doesn't do me any good. So just looking at these things, and then the other side of it is that I started this rant off with protein shakes, but it's the more protein you can have prior to the whatever else you're going to eat, the easier it is for you to be satiated, so you don't want, whatever it is. Like I was reminded when we were in Glacier, Jenny was putting collagen in her coffee. And for a while I did that. It's a nice quick jump in the morning. And it's like a kickstart to your protein, and then a protein shake in the afternoon is usually a quick way to circumvent that crash in the afternoon if you haven't eaten enough lunch, or your dinner's not for 3 hours or whatever it is. But looking for those places where you can add that in is always helpful, even if it's adding it in with as a treat. A treat could be like bars. Like if you have a protein bar that you happen to like the taste of, that gives you a certain amount of protein, that's that could be a serviceable treat that circumvents like some of the other stuff. So it's nice to have those quick go-tos. So I'm going to stop, and I want to hear what you guys have to say and what your suggestions are. So Angelia, you're unmuted. What do you have for your suggestion?
Oh, I am on. Are you talking about as a supplement when I want to treat?
Whatever, anything along dealing with the holidays, treat, the whole shebang. You go for it. So I'm not doing sugar, and it's just, I'm guided by what I've talked to with my medical provider. And so we're trying to refocus nutrition. So for my sugar cravings, I do the Oikos. Can you see that? The 000. So it's 15 grams of protein, 90 calories, no sugar. And the cravings are usually like 3 o'clock and then in the evening. So every afternoon I have one of these, and it's been perfect. And it's actually been helping. So that's for my sugar cravings. And then for protein, I just make sure that at least 20 grams breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's my minimum, no matter what. And I found that by having at least 20 grams throughout the day and spread out like that, I don't have the cravings that I was having. So that, coupled with exercising, and I found, looking back at my food journals with my doctor, we found that by doing that and then adding in that sweet to satisfy with the yogurt, then what's happened is it's improved my digestion from the probiotics, and I also don't snack. So it's been really good. It's been very helpful. And then over the 60 days that I was doing that, I was down 15 pounds. That's great.
I said, that's a bonus, because I wasn't trying to lose weight.
Right. No, that's amazing. Why don't you put the name of it in the chat in case anybody wants it? Because I
The yogurt?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's good. And Jenny, you have a yogurt that you use as a treat too, don't you?
I just use plain yogurt, but I
Oh, it's
ramp
cottage cheese.
yeah, I ramp up the fat content in like plain fat-free yogurt. Oh, it's the food of the devil. I mean, yikes.
Yeah.
It just is sour and I just cannot stomach it. But anyway, so I do a higher fat yogurt and I'll put some blueberries in or something like that. But I eat a lot of cottage cheese. I, start my morning with collagen in my coffee, but then I always have a high protein breakfast that's either eggs or cottage cheese or something. And I just try and get as much protein as I can during the day. I do have bars that I like. They're called Perfect bars. They probably have more sugar than I would like, but I like the flavor of them and they taste like I'm having a sweet treat. And so that helps. I have not been great about sugar lately. I have come to find out that and this is not scientifically done, it's just done by experimenting. My blood sugar is very much tied to my migraines. And if I can keep my blood sugar pretty steady by a lot of protein and few carbs and sugar, then I can really keep my headaches at bay, which is just so interesting to me because I didn't tie it to that until within the last 6 months, maybe. So that is a why for not reaching for treats. But a couple of little treats is not going to elevate my blood sugar enough. If I have an empty stomach, it will. It's not going to elevate my blood sugar enough to give me a headache, but they're not good for me. So I am last year I started no sugar in November and did all of November and December no sugar, except for I did have a few bites of a dessert on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then they really felt like treats. But if I start no sugar today, I just feel agitated and really have cravings for sugar. And so if I start in the beginning of November, by the time I get to Thanksgiving, I'm like, whatever, it's just a piece of pie. It's not that big of a deal. I don't have that craving so much. So I try and start it early so I can get, by the time the heavy sugar holidays come along, my body's already saying, you're fine. You don't really need that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ramp that up again. And I even said, well, why wait till November? Why don't you do it now? And today I'm like, well, no, because there is a piece of candy in the house and I'm going to have that after lunch. I'm like, okay, it was delicious. So why don't you have another one? So I've not been great at it, but I do feel like I make really good food choices the rest of the time.
And I mean, really, Anna, if you think about it, you're amazing at it. If you think about where you were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, and
Right?
part of that is because I just didn't understand quite so much what carbs did too many carbs did to your body. And it's easy to say, well, I'm not going to grab for whatever, a piece of chocolate, but I'll grab a handful of pretzels. Well, in essence, it's doing the same
Thing. Yeah.
thing.
In essence, it is the same thing.
So yeah, so I've learned a lot more, and just it just seems like I've learned a lot more about how my body responds to different things, and it's been helpful.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I love it. So, yeah, Sia, what about you? Anything in particular help, hurt, hinder?
Well, I think it's very interesting you talk about that protein shake because actually this morning I decided, so I do have protein at home and I just didn't feel like making it. And so I actually went out of so there's a place here that makes all these different protein shakes and they open at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I actually went the opposite direction from going to work to go there to get a protein shake because it kind of it's like a little treat. It was like it tastes really good. And I'm like, mine don't taste as good as yours. And so I went there. And then as I started to map out how long it would take to get to work, I was like, oh, it take me an hour to go to work? Oh, it's okay, because I have my shake. And so I was drinking it I drove to work today. And I was like, it was fantastic. I had like it's very filling and it kept me at bay all day. And it was like a little treat because I mean, it's a pumpkin spice protein shake. And the only problem they say no sugar, they say low sugar, they tell you how many carbs there are. I'm sorry, how many grams of protein there are. And so it looks really good as far as the numbers, but I need to really check them out because everything it tastes really good. So sometimes I kind of wonder but it's supposed to be low sugar,
Yeah, it
high.
can be. Yeah,
So I,
like
so you
it
said
can be.
treat. It was a treat this
Yeah.
morning.
It beats
Yeah.
the heck out of that Starbucks thing, right?
Exactly. And so I was
Right?
like, I'm not going to Starbucks. I'm going to take a. I mean, I literally went the opposite direction of the expressway to get there. And I was like, because if I want to give up Starbucks and go for something that's going to be much better for me and still give me that satisfaction, I might I got up a little bit earlier this morning. I went that way and I felt much better. They're telling me I can also do it at home. They can give me the information on getting it at home as well. But I also have my own stuff here. But you know, when I don't feel like it, like making one, I did it this weekend too. If I don't feel like making my own protein shake, I just go there and get it. Obviously, it's going to cost a little bit more, but I think when you treat it as like a little treat, it's not as bad. So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so this morning I did go and get me a pumpkin
Well, good
spice
for you.
protein shake,
Good
and
for
it was
you.
really
And you
good.
know, when it costs a little bit more, sometimes like for years, like ever since I met Phil, 25 years, he used to gripe about me buying organic. And he's like, that's so much more expensive. And I'm like, I don't know. It's more expensive. But the truth is that our health most likely is going to last a lot longer without, you know, all the drugs and everything else if we're eating well. So, you know, that was always my justification is you eat well, then, you know, then the money comes back in the end. So there you go, you know?
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing about me is the Starbucks versus that protein shake. I think the protein shake was cheaper than the Starbucks. So,
Oh, well, then you have
so I
nothing to say.
win-win. So yeah.
Good. Congratulations. I like that. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to throw in?
Oh, me? Oh, no, that's all I had.
That's
Go ahead.
good. Well, that's a huge win. I'm excited. So, Jackie, what you got?
Well, in the morning, excuse me, I have unsweetened coconut yogurt because I shouldn't have dairy. And I put protein powder and chia seeds in it. And then in the afternoon, I have to make some again, but I make some salted turtle energy bites, and the sweet comes from dates. And I put protein powder in it as well as chia seeds and hemp seeds or whatever I've got. And it's chocolate, so it's got like non-sugar like cocoa powder in it. And I really like those. Those are my little sweet treat because I'm kind of like Jenny. I like that little sweet.
Yeah. Oh, well, good for you. Good for you. Because it's like really in the end, it is just having I think we should enjoy the things that we want to enjoy. I really do. Like life's too short to just, you know, always be in denial about anything that you want to enjoy. But when you can find things that fit a healthier piece, you know, Jackie's bites, Sia's, you know, protein shake, like, you know, when you can find that, then you're meeting your needs and you're also meeting your body's, you know, longevity needs. So I think it's such a big deal. Yeah.
And with the Glucose Goddess doing her program, I don't do it religiously or anything like that, but a lot of it is if you say have veggies before to begin your meal, then have your protein and then your carbs. And then if you want a sweet, whether it's healthy or not, it doesn't spike the blood sugars near as
Right.
bad. And that's more like she says, and also anybody else I've talked to, is that's more what you're trying to do is keep the blood sugar spikes from happening rather than just not have like sure you don't want to have a ton of sugar, but if you want to have a little treat, then have it kind of at the end of the meal and your blood
Right.
sugar won't spike near as bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
And for
And
my
I always laugh because you remember that book years ago that was such a big deal. Eat dessert first. And and at the time I thought, ooh, that sounds gross. And it is gross for us actually. But yeah. Yes.
I also forgot to mention I am now at the weight I was when I had my youngest son, and that was 30 years ago.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That
So quite excited about that. So
that's huge. I was just getting ready to wrap the call, and that's like, what else can we say? Congratulations.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well,
Been a
good
long
job.
time.
Yeah. Well, Hey, everybody unmute. I realize that it's getting a little late. Some people are sitting in the dark. In fact, Patty was completely in the dark, like Sia. I mean, Sia, you and Patty are in the same city.
All right.
I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why it's getting dark.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, both in the dark, huh? So, anyone else have anything you want to say before we wrap? No? Jenny, is your dog there to say goodbye? Because everybody's got to wave and say goodbye. Bye, Mr. Wiggles. What's his name?
Uncle Biscuit.
Uncle Biscuit. Oh my God. He's cute. He's really
He's a
cute.
good guy. He's a
Oh.
good boy.
All right. Thank y'all so much. I am gone for 2 weeks to the Smokies, but then I'm back and we'll be back online. So thank you. And I will see y'all very soon.
Have
Enjoy
a good trip.
Halloween.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.